my friends, welcome back to the channel again. This is the last episode of my Isdal woman marathon on my channel, and I hope you are enjoying it. I hope you find it interesting, and I truly hope that you have watched all my previous episodes. If you haven't, make sure you do that, because this will help you a lot to understand the timeline and also the facts. Today we are continuing to discuss some of the most exciting theories regarding this case, and we are also visiting the cemetery where Isdal woman was actually buried in Norway. So let's start. So now that we have so many controversies regarding if she is or is not a spy, Mr. Vasiliev also kind of pushed forward his own theory, and he was laughing and saying, I think we have now cracked the case. So his idea is that Isdalen woman was actually a courier. So according to his theory, she was bringing the information to certain persons of certain importance. And he explained why he is thinking that she most probably was more like a courier and definitely not a spy. Because the main task of a spy is to collect certain information. That's the task he is focusing on, that's the task he is doing, trying to do every and each day. He does not have enough time to travel around and bring this collected information to bosses wherever they are. And in this case, the courier plays an important role. So she was most probably allegedly meeting some spies working on the field in Norway that had some very precious information. And the spy gave the information to her, and she was then bringing it to the destination points all over the world. And actually, in my opinion, it really makes sense, and this would explain her traveling around the world. This would also explain where did she get the money for traveling and looking so good, because obviously she received money for that work. So at the end, I just want to say that I do not completely discard the theory of Isdal woman being a spy. Maybe she wasn't a Soviet spy, but does not exclude the possibility that she was working for some kind of other foreign intelligence. What do you think? So the next theory also is a little bit confusing, but it also has a place to be, and as it's quite popular, I'm also including it in this video. Judge yourselves. So this theory is about the fact that Isdalen woman was actually a representative of the oldest profession in the world. What makes us think about that? So firstly, she had these strange encounters with different men, according to the hotel staff and many other witnesses that saw her together with some men. Again, if you remember, in one of the episodes I also mentioned about sex espionage. Again, just came into my mind, maybe this man that she was having this very official meeting in Neptune hotel was not a client, but maybe her pimp. Sorry for using that word, but I do not know how you officially call a person who is a boss of the representative of the oldest profession. But yeah, this would explain why there was no romantic atmosphere between them, only like a business. So I don't know. And also, some of the people who believe in this theory that she was the representative of oldest profession, or escort, if I can say like that, say that there is also another evidence that shows that she might be this kind of lady, because in the suitcases that were found in the railway station, they actually found a lot of very sophisticated underwear, and also the fact that she was always looking very appealing, very beautiful, wearing nice clothes, a lot of makeup.
Some believe that the matchbox that was found in the Isdal woman's suitcases also signifies that she might be connected with the oldest profession. Matchbox was from German sex shop operator Beate Use, and some believe it tells something. However, there were thousands of packages lying around in those days everywhere, even at the railway stations and restaurants. She could have taken the box with her at any place on her journey, like in the train or bar.
But yeah, it's up to you to think. I know that it sounds quite believable, but in my opinion, this is not the case. I don't think that Isdal woman was a representative of the oldest profession. Yesterday, me and Italy were actually sitting and discussing this case, and the result is that you most probably see I've changed my outfit. The result is that I am filming this after I filmed the previous parts in the red t-shirt, because I just needed to add this. So, and he came up with this idea, and I quite agree with him because this could be possible. He actually said that this Isdal woman could be something else, not a spy, not a courier. I do believe that Isdal woman was in Norway and also traveling around because of some kind of duty she had to do. And although spy is the most popular theory and also courier sounds quite possible, there's another group of people who also can be seen, if they are seen, around very important places where very important things are happening and where very influential and important people are hanging around and making very important decisions. And these people also are very secretive. They are also using usually fake IDs, trying to hide all the leads where they are staying. Let's remember she moved from one hotel to another, and also most probably these people have quite a lot of money because somebody is paying to them to do their work, and these people are actually called killers or assassins, if you like. I know it might sound like a James Bond movie when I'm putting it out loud, but Cold War was a very tricky thing, and we do not actually know the methods that were used to make some kind of impact on the politics, whether it's internal or global. And we also have to bear in mind that many very influential things that changed the history started from assassination of important people. So maybe, just assuming, don't come after me, this was the same case. And if we just brainstorm further, let's say if she was really some kind of killer who had a target in Norway, this would maybe explain why she was moving to hotels. Maybe it wasn't like to hide her leads where she is staying, but maybe she was just trying to follow her target from one place to another. So, and also changing names in line with that, so that nobody can understand that she's also moving together with this target. So that's just like one of the things that came into my mind. I hope you don't mind me brainstorming here in front of you. But then I actually came across with one very interesting story I read as a post on the Facebook group of Death in Ice Valley. That's the Facebook group dedicated to the podcast I've been mentioning throughout these episodes. And one lady posted her theory about who is Isdal woman, and I was completely hooked on it. And I thought it is worth mentioning here too, because in my opinion it little bit kind of relates also to this assassin killer theory. But before we continue, just let me explain, this is not like I'm saying it really happened like that. This is just like people throwing out theories, thinking and suggesting things based on several facts they have read or several facts that they have interpreted in certain way. And I'm saying this just because this theory involves a real person who is already dead now. But anyways, so that please don't come after me, I'm just putting it out there because it also sounds very interesting, and who knows, maybe there are some traits of truth there. So back to this theory. So this lady on Facebook group actually suggested that the case of Isdal woman could be related to the cases of another very famous female spy. Her name was Sylvia Raphael, and she was a spy for Mossad. Mossad is the intelligence agency for Israel. Now I will dive a little bit into the background about who is Sylvia Raphael and why some of the people think that she also could be like one of the persons maybe related to the Isdal woman case. So bear with me, I promise it will make sense. The name of Mossad spy woman Sylvia Raphael actually is well known in Norwegian grounds. She made headlines starting from 1972 because she was related to notorious killings that were later referred to as Lillehammer affair. It was a huge scandal because Mossad came to Norway on a mission called Operation Wrath of God to kill Ali Hassan Salameh. He was the head of an organization called Black September. Black September was a Palestinian militant group that was responsible for Munich massacre in 1972. The terrible killings they were doing took place in Munich during Summer Olympics.
This is an ITN newsflash from the Olympic Village in Munich, where early this morning armed Palestinian guerrillas raided the sleeping quarters of the Israeli team. The gunmen shot dead 2 Israelis and are now holding 20 athletes and 6 officials as hostages. The guerrillas are demanding the release of 250 Arabs held prisoner in Israel and have set noon as the deadline for their release.
Palestinian terrorists in ski masks ambushed the Israeli team. After the negotiations to free the 9 Israelis broke down, the terrorists took the hostages to the Munich airport. Once there, German police opened fire from rooftops and killed 3 of the terrorists. A gun battle erupted and left the hostages, 2 more Palestinians and policemen dead.
Apparently, Mossad had a lead that this head of Black September was in Norway, in Lillehammer at that time, so they sent agents to assassinate him. It was a group of 15 agents, and 2 of them were women, one of which were Sylvia Raphael. But things got very wrong there because they killed a completely irrelevant person, and his name was Ahmed Bouchiki. He was just a simple innocent waiter who on that evening went to watch movies with his then pregnant wife. So the killers shot at him 13 times and he died in front of his pregnant wife. And actually no comments about how such a professional like intelligence as Mossad can make mistakes like that and shoot the wrong person. But let's not dive into that topic. We are talking about something completely else. 9 members of Mossad who were like involved in this operation in Norway managed to escape, but the rest were caught, including Sylvia, and they were later put in jail in Norway. This Sylvia Raphael is really interesting person. Actually, she is from South Africa, and she was recruited as Mossad agent in 1962 when she traveled to Israel. And she became one of the highest ranked agents there. Now, we know the background. We know that this person, this spy, actually was already like traveling to Norway. So maybe she was there even earlier to do some other things. And also considering that she is such a high ranked spy, This could also be like the reason why she was in Norway earlier in the 1970s. And maybe one of the reasons why she was there in Norway at that time, particularly in Bergen, was because of the Penguin missile testings. Now, the rest that I will be telling to you is just like assumptions. Please do not consider that it actually happened like that. Don't come after me and don't say that how can I like spread all of these lies. This is just like one of the theories, and some people do actually believe in that, and I also find some kind of part of truth there. This might have happened. So maybe this Sylvia came to Norway in 1970s as a spy in order to collect information about the missile testings, and maybe she simply bumped into some other female agent, which in our case would be our Isdalen woman. Maybe it became clear that at this point only one of them will leave Norway with some very important information. So maybe Sylvia was afraid that now she was exposed, and this is why maybe she started to move around, change hotels, change her names, in order to escape this, in this case, how we believe Isdal woman, the other female agent. When only one of them could leave Norway with this precious information about the missile, or maybe something else happening in Norway that was so important, considering the situation with Norway and Soviet Union border. Maybe the plan of Sylvia, considering that she is such an experienced and smart agent, maybe she created a plan. Maybe she approached this other female agent that we are supposing is Isdalen woman, and they set a date on Isdal Valley just to discuss the situation, and maybe she said that they would like to cooperate and figure out the situation so that it's win-win. This would also explain why maybe they decided to have this meeting in such a remote place as Isdal Valley. Nobody would see them there, and they both were very like secretive, and they didn't want none of their intelligences to know that two of the rivals in the race for important information are actually meeting and considering collaboration. So maybe this could be the case why the result was that they both were there in the Isdal Valley. And in this case, we might assume that the lady who won and outsmarted the other woman, who was, let's assume, Isdal woman, was Sylvia. So this Isdal woman was left there dead. Sylvia went away, but as she's a professional spy and agent, she made sure it all looks like a suicide. She also made sure that people understand that she was an agent, and made sure that her face was burnt so that nobody can actually recognize her. And after that, Sylvia might have returned back to Israel with the important information that both of them were fighting for. And where does this get us? There is an assumption that maybe the lady that was witnessed in all of those hotels was actually Sylvia. As I mentioned before, maybe she was just like moving around and trying to hide the leads from the other agent woman. Also, she might have been the one who was buying boots in Stavanger for this hike with this other female agent. Or maybe, if we remember, she was very undecisive and then she came back to this shop. Maybe that was her plan, and she wanted to make sure that the shop assistant actually remembered her, and it was like previously prepared plan, so that police afterwards would get more confused with the leads and the witnesses. And now the most crucial part of all of this brainstorming and considering of this possible scenario is that basically all of the sketches of Isdalen woman in this case could be based on Sylvia Raphael and not on the real woman that was found on the valley. And if you look at Sylvia's photos at that time, you can actually see that there is quite a huge resemblance. And this is why I was so hooked on this theory. And at the end, I just want to say this, of course, might not be Sylvia Raphael at all. We cannot exclude the possibility that all of this scenario could have happened with some kind of other agent from completely a different intelligence. Related to Isdalen woman or not, Sylvia Raphael is a very interesting personality, and as well as the case that took place in Norway, I think it will be very interesting to research, and also to research how she became an agent from a simple woman coming from South Africa. And before I say goodbye, a little bit of the place where this mysterious Isdal woman is now resting in peace in Norway.
So we are now in the Isdal graveyard. This is the place where in one very typical Bergen type evening with a lot of rain, the mysterious Isdal woman was actually buried. She was buried according to Catholic traditions, although we do not actually know what kind of religion she was belonging to, if she was belonging to any kind of religion. And according to the sources, there were around 16 policemen present on that ceremony, because obviously she didn't have any relatives that could cry after her, remember her. But we all know that since 1970, nobody has kind of recognized her and said, yes, we know her, she's our relative or friend or whatever. So I don't know exactly where she is buried. I read somewhere that it is under some kind of rhododendron bush, not sure. And I read somewhere that she doesn't even have a cross or a special a sign saying that that's Isdal woman. So we don't actually know where exactly she's buried. But if you know, it's some kind of chance you know, and you have been there, you can write down in comments.
And the most scariest thing is that we are actually running out of time. Many of the witnesses, like the hotel staff, are already dead, and time goes by. It has been more than 50 years and still no conclusion of this case. If we do not rush, secrets of Isdalen woman might fade away with its lost witnesses.
And actually, before I finish, just want to say that there are so many forums, public groups, and also the previously mentioned Facebook group. People are actually trying to figure out the identity of this mysterious Isdal woman. They publish different photos from I don't know what kind of sources, but they are related to that period, and they are suggesting that these persons might be Isdal women, and it is very, very intriguing. And the most confusing thing is that maybe one of the photos or one of the leads somewhere in the internet could actually be her, and we just don't know. And the Death in Ice Valley podcast recently updated their series, and they included an episode that was dedicated to two women. And according to the background and life, these both women also kind of could be Isdal woman. And at the end, I want to say a huge thank you for watching all of these episodes, appreciating my work. And if you would like me to continue to update this playlist dedicated to mysteries and unsolved cases, maybe in Norway, maybe not only in Norway, make sure you write that down in comment section so that I know how to plan my future videos. Of course, I will keep up with my previous videos that are more entertaining about my life and how interesting is Norway from different perspectives. But yeah, this could be another side topic that I would be very happy to develop. But in order to do that, I just need to know if you are interested to watch. so that I don't waste my time. And before I say goodbye, I just want to say please stay safe, please make sure your loved ones are safe too. This world is very unpredictable and anything can happen. Goodbye.